Hey everyone, editing Oliver here. This is the start of part 2. Thank you so much if you're checking it out. If you have not seen part 1 of The Godfather part 3, you can check out the video right here. The link should be above my shoulder. Boop, 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 boop. If you did not watch part 1 of The Godfather part 3 and just checking this out because you like the end of The Godfather part 3, I don't blame you. The end of part 3 was really good. Very interesting. I have some very interesting thoughts about the ending. I liked it. I didn't like it. Yeah, you guys will see that as you watch the video. Anyways, I hope you enjoy part 2 of my reaction to The Godfather part 3. And yeah, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy.
What's happened?
Is it possible that you could get me something sweet? Some orange juice, anything?
Oh yeah, because diabetes? Yeah, get him some sugar.
Come to you on such a delicate matter.
Michael in this movie is very similar but so different than the first movie and the second movie.
Mind suffers.
Like, he's still Michael.
Plays out.
But looking at him, especially from the second movie to this movie, he's way more fragile, but way more... He's wiser. He's definitely wiser, which is what he said. The older you get, the wiser you get.
Nah, it's useless. Go on, my son. I killed
My brother.
I killed my father's son.
I love that the death of Fredo still haunts him, though. I really like that. It's also like, I feel like one of the most emotional we've seen Michael. I don't think I've seen him cry, or at least I can't remember him crying. I mean, the Archbishop becomes the next Pope.
Where everything higher up was legal, straight. But the higher I go, the crookeder it becomes.
Like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Sometimes I think of poor Fredo. Drowned. It was God's will.
Drowned? He said that he drowned? Oh, Michael, man. Does she know, Connie? Does she not suspect that Michael did it? Whatever this song is, I like that instrument that's like boing, 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 you know? So good.
Ace in the hole, come si dice in America. Hay una spina d'Oshanko.
They really like that analogy. That's been said it twice now. Once at the start and once now. What bread? That's me. I love bread. Whenever there's bread, I love it. Mmm.
Oh, what for?
For making me let him go.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that is true. Kay Adams, that was you.
Hey, Dad, smile.
Michael doesn't know what smiling is.
I
Why?
Okay,
I was gonna say, why is this shot going on for so long? I thought something was gonna happen.
Bring your luck.
Aww. Aww. The nostalgia. Aww. That's so beautiful. I can't believe that this movie has some nostalgic aspects to it. I guess it makes sense because it was 20 years basically since the second movie, so it makes sense that they'd utilize a little bit of nostalgia because nostalgia is a powerful tool.
As long as they're around, Uncle Michael is safe.
Bye. Bye. Oh.
I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous that characters are gonna die. This is the last movie, and the Godfather's series has not been kind to a lot of different characters.
I'll have everything ready.
Connie and Vincent are always like behind Michael's back, trying to help, but doing exactly what Michael doesn't want them to do. That was a really aggressive kiss. That was like intensely aggressive. That's so beautiful, isn't it? Oh my gosh. I want to do that. Just drive across Italy, train down the coast of Italy maybe. That would be really fun.
Listen to that.
Oh, there's a wedding. Hey, this is exactly like Michael's wedding with Baloney. I know I'm saying her name wrong, but I totally forgot what her name was, and I just remembered that I called her Baloney. So Baloney it is. Oh, her father stabbed her through the heart.
Listen, I have to see Don Tomasino.
Oh my God.
Now, what's that guy doing? Just giving her flowers? That's awesome.
Padre, cosa fate da queste parti? Volete un passaggio? Venite, salite.
Oh, it's not. It's fake. They're fakes. They're phonies. They're balonies.
Come on, come in.
He got absolutely obliterated in his car. What the heck?
But they still expect good rather than bad will happen to them.
Sort of like me and you, huh?
Italy is full of optimists. Okay, okay.
What is that supposed to do? Is that supposed to make me not dread you?
We're in Sicily, it's opera.
We're in Sicily, it's opera. Michael's such a jokester.
And then later, you were in danger. Our children were in danger. What could I do? You were all that I...
Yes, they were in danger, but I still think you went too far, Michael, in some cases.
About my wife and my children. How I lost them.
Oh my god, this is so beautiful. Michael's just opening up. I loved that conversation so much. That was so sweet. Why are you crying? Oh, did they find the guy dead?
Siri, Lamberto, lo Shire.
Whoa, it's so red. Why is it so red?
Lo Shire, voti 1. Siri, voti 11.
Do they vote for a new pope? Is that how they elect a new pope? It's an election basically from all the big higher ups. Is this the Pope's house? His apartment? Imagine if you lived in the apartment next to the Pope. I know it's not apartments, but like it kinda is at the same time. It's in the Vatican though, but I know that.
For several years, the bank and its subsidiary companies have been the object of allegations of disreputable...
Oh, the music right now is so good.
Why do I condemn myself so?
I love how he's reflecting on his life in this movie.
You look pale. Bad news. Tell me right away.
Yeah, he looks like a vampire. He's so pale. Yes! Revenge is a dish best served cold with a side of... I don't know what I was gonna say. With a side of salad.
From this moment on, call yourself Vincent Corleone.
Oh! Part of the family now for real life. What the heck? The sun faded in my room as the scene faded. It's like nature is the movie. Oh my god, this is the opera with the sun, and the music is so good. Oh, the music in this movie is really good. Is the assassination gonna happen here at the opera?
Here's hoping Tony sings better.
I'm thinking this is gonna be a pretty good finale.
Happy birthday. You're 80 years old.
Why does he have a hand on his cane? I don't understand. I don't like it. It's so dumb.
On your birthday,
Yeah, I was like, get out of there, lady.
the nuns who made these cannolis took a vow of silence. They had a very fine museum.
Take the cannoli. Well, that was one of my favorite lines from the first movie.
È buono. Grazie.
He was making sure it's not poisoned, right? He was making sure. Was it poisoned? Is she poisoned?
Love somebody else.
Oh, oh, what a good line. Oh, what a heartbreaking line, though. Oh, she's gonna hate Michael for this, too. You got this. You got this, Michael's son. I forget his name. Oh, look at him looking at her. Boo! Get out of here, assassin. Go home. Are we gonna get another like really cool montage? Like the first two movies at the end had a really cool montages. Still eating the cannoli. Is it poisoned? Is she poisoned now?
Yeah, everything's fine. It's all clear out here. I've already sent Almiri to the Vatican.
He's already inside. He's already inside. The assassin's already inside, guys. You're useless out there. And this is the guy who said, like, command me. I'll avenge him, right? Look! Go that way, idiot. Oh my gosh. I get so mean to characters when they're dumb. I'm so sorry. Bullets laced in cyanide. Is that what he does? Is that his thing? I bet there's gunshots in this play, in this opera, and he shoots during the gunshot. That was a good shot of them walking up and down the stairs. Ooh. I think there will be another montage. If it's just like, I did that in real life. Watch out, it's gone, he's hiding. He's gonna kill you. Shoot the gun. If you shoot your gun, even if you die. Oh no, knife fight.
Good, you got it.
Oh my god, what a fake. What a fake. The gun, yeah, I told you there'll be a gunshot and he's gonna time it perfectly. Never mind, there was no gunshot. Is this a break? Intermission? Oh my god, I forgot about the donkey guy. The donkey kid. Oh no. Donkey kid, go away. Oh yes. Look at his hands, they're shaking. His hands are shaking. He's so nervous. Poisonous tea? Oh no. This is such a good scene. This is such a good sequence. Everything at the opera house has been thrilling. Oh my god. Scared me. I was like, someone behind you, Michael. He's not there anymore, idiot. Loser.
This Pope has powerful enemies. We may not be in time to save him.
That's a really good shot. This is a really good shot.
We're Let's go back to the opera.
You know me and my silhouettes. I love them. I love them. No! Oh, I thought he was just gonna shoot him. But they're on the same side. I totally forgot. Oh, wow. I have so many chills right now. This is such a good sequence. He's still eating that same cannoli, it looks like. Is he dying? Is he dying? I hope this guy just dies, you know?
Allora, messaggio di Michele Corleone.
Oh yeah, here we go. Francis Ford Coppola really likes his montages at the end of movies, doesn't he? Okay. My hands are sweating right now. Yes, goodbye, idiot. Oh, he stabbed him with his glasses. He stabbed him with his glasses. What the heck? What the heck? Oh, imagine dying from glasses. Imagine being stabbed to death by your own glasses. That is, I don't know if that's like an incredible death or like a really sad death. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, he's about to get shot. Oh no.
What do you mean?
Mary, please.
Oh no, he actually got shot. He actually got shot. No. Oh, what the heck? What the heck? I didn't expect that. She got shot. Mary.
No! Mary! Mary! Oh, God. No! God, no!
Was Michael even shot? Or did he just miss? Oh, he was. I think he was shot once. Oh no, is he dying? Is he dying too? I have so many chills right now. So many chills. The dance from the start of the movie. Oh, his dance with Baloney. Oh, his dance with Kay Adams. The music is beautiful. I have chills galore. Oh, he lived? He lived. I thought he died on the steps. Is he dead? I think he is. Yeah, it definitely is. Oh, the dog. That was good. That was good. I liked the movie, but the last 45 minutes, I loved the last 45 minutes. I liked the rest of the movie, but I loved the last 45 minutes. And that was my reaction to The Godfather Part 3. The 1990, I believe, 1990 crime drama, 2 hours and 50 minutes, starring Al Pacino, Andy Garcia, oh, that's his name, Andy Garcia was Vincent, Sofia Coppola, and Diane, Keaton. I'm going to say I enjoyed that movie. I think it was definitely the weakest out of the three movies, but I don't think it was as bad as a lot of people were saying. I went just out for it like a bit, and I was looking at some of the reviews for this movie after watching it, and a lot of people gave this movie 1 star or 2 stars, and they were just kind of ranting about it. And I don't think this movie deserves 1 or 2 stars. This movie was still a really well-made movie. I think it just has the issue of being behind the first and second Godfather movies, aka some of the greatest movies ever made. And so I can understand why people could be mad at this movie. This movie definitely has its flaws. This movie definitely tries to be up there with Godfather Part 1 and Godfather Part 2, but it does not succeed. But I don't think that makes this movie a bad movie. I think some people maybe are being too harsh on this movie because of that. And I thought this movie was very enjoyable. Yes, again, there were flaws to this movie. The opera scene, while I did love it, those last 45 minutes, I really did love it. I did think it kind of lasted a little bit too long. I thought, now that I've thought about the ending a little bit, I thought that the last shot with Michael dying, I thought that was a little bit weird. I'll get into this stuff that I thought was a little weird about this movie, but overall I did enjoy this movie, and I thought that this was a good addition to the Godfather trilogy, and I think it's getting a little bit too much hate from people. Like, I definitely do not think this is a 1-star movie or a 2-star movie. I think this is probably, for me, a 3.5 stars is if I would give it, because I really did enjoy this movie, and their filmmaking, Francis Ford Coppola is always a great filmmaker. He is always a blast to watch when he makes his movies, but I just think that I gave the first and second Godfather, I think, like 4.5 stars or something like that on Letterboxd. If you'd like to check out my Letterboxd, the link is in the description, by the way, and then you can check out how many stars I give the movies that I watch on this channel. But yeah, I think that this movie, I would agree with the audience score on IMDb, but not the critic scores, and I'll talk about them in a second because I like to. Okay, so the audience score on IMDb is a 7.6, so 76%. Rotten Tomatoes is a 68% from critics, and Metacritic is a 60% from critics. I think that the critics are scoring this too low, in my opinion. I think the audience on IMDb is probably scoring it about right. Maybe I would score it a little bit higher, but 3.5 stars is around a 7.6, 7.5 out of 10. I feel like if you were right, I feel like that's kind of what it would be like. So I think audiences did enjoy this movie for the most part. They at least could appreciate the filmmaking behind it, the acting behind it. Some of the acting was incredible, some of it wasn't as good. Some of the story was really interesting. There were really good moments in this movie, but there were also some moments that did not connect with me, at least. And again, I will talk about the good and the bad of this movie, but I think critics just destroyed this movie with the 60% and 68%. I think that is way too low, especially the 60%. I think that is way too low of a score. I think this movie deserves a better score. Just the filmmaking alone in this movie was really, really good. Like, yes, there were some messy bits, but again, this movie, 60%, that is like you putting the Godfather 3 on the same level as some other, like, just random action movies. Like, I feel like, I don't know, some Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that I've watched in this channel have had a 60% on Metacritic, so you're putting The Godfather 3 at the same level as those movies, and I think The Godfather 3 is higher up, would be considered higher up than those movies, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, that's just kind of my rant about about how I feel about this movie. But yeah, I guess I should start talking about this movie. I'll talk about the stuff that I disliked first, so I can end up with the stuff that I did like, because I like doing that, because then I can be happy going into the casting. And some of the stuff I had issues with is with the cast, so I'll get to that later on. But first, I'm going to talk about the ending of this movie. The ending was a plus and a minus for me. I loved the opera scene. I thought it dragged a little bit too long. I was so invested with the opera scene. I thought that the music was amazing. I thought that a lot of the shots were amazing. The way that the scene built the tension was amazing. But then it tried to keep the tension for 45 minutes basically in the same building. And it worked for about 30 minutes for me. And then kind of the last 10 minutes of that opera scene before they go out onto the stairs and then Michael gets does Michael get shot? I don't even know. But before Mary gets shot for sure, I was kind of losing interest in the scene. I was kind of starting to get pulled out of the scene just because the tension had lasted so long and nothing had actually happened. It was all just build up for so long that I was starting to go, oh, maybe nothing is going to happen. And then it was just kind of like even though the tension was building up in the movie, the tension with me was going down, and that's just how I felt. I think the sequence was 10 minutes too long. If it was the 30 minutes that I felt the tension for. I would have loved the scene even more. And then another issue I had with the ending of this movie was the last shot of Al Pacino's Michael dying. I don't know why. I did like it when I watched the movie, or at least I was shocked by it. That's probably a better word. I was shocked by the ending, and so I thought I liked it, but upon a reflection of feeling shocked, shock value is always something that movies use because it makes an audience think that they like something, because it's like, oh my god, that was so shocking, I can't believe that character just died, and so you're like, oh, I must have liked it because I had that reaction. So that's the reaction I had with Michael. But whenever there's something of shock in a movie, of shock value in a movie, I like to kind of reflect on the shock value and say, was that earned in the movie? Like, was the shock actually earned? Was it, or was it just used to kind of keep the audience's interest and make the audience go, oh my god, and then make them think that they liked what happened? And I think for this one, it was the second one. While I do think that this movie ending with Michael dying was how I thought the movie was going to end, I think that is a good way to end this trilogy, with Michael's passing, because this trilogy has basically been the story of Michael going through these different stages of his life, right? But I also think that the way that they did it was not very good. It was very, very abrupt. Like, he's just on the stairs mourning Mary, and then all of a sudden he's old in Sicily, and he just like has a stroke on his chair or something, and he just flops over and dies, and there's a dog next to him. And it was just like, I was like, whoa, in the moment, but now that I think about it, I'm like, they just kind of just killed him. Like, it kind of just felt like Francis Ford Coppola, he was writing and he was just like, I don't really care anymore, let's just kill him so I don't have to make a fourth movie. So I don't know, that's just how I feel now that I think about the ending. So I guess I did like the ending of the second one a lot better than the first, or then yeah, the ending of the second one better than the third movie. Something that I did really like about this movie was the music. I thought the musical score of this movie was maybe my favorite of the three. Now that when I'm thinking about it, it's definitely the one that I remember the most after the movie is done, which usually means that I enjoyed the score more than other movies. That's usually how I judge my enjoyment of the score. If I can remember the score more after the movie, then I know that I personally enjoyed the score a lot. But I thought the score in this movie was really, really, really good. It was one of the exceptional things of this movie. It was just beautiful, it was powerful, it was moving. There was a lot of opera, and I don't like listen to opera on the daily, I'm a huge opera fan when it comes to movies for some reason. I just think it's super dramatic and it just makes the movie so much fun for some reason. But yeah, I thought that the music in this movie was beautiful, especially the scene where Michael's son sings to Michael, and it's like just these two shots of Michael's son singing with the guitar, and then Michael sitting there and he's remembering his like dance with like Baloney. I know I'm not saying her name right, but that's her name in my mind. But yeah, he's singing, he's like opera singing to, I'm pretty sure he's singing to the Godfather theme song as it's like playing, and it was just so beautiful, that scene. It was so moving, it was so touching, that not a word said, not a dialogue said, it was all, again, all in song and all in these emotions that the actors were portraying on their faces as the cameras had like these very still frames on them, and I just thought it was really, really good. Another thing I really liked about this movie was the shots, the camera shots in this movie. Although I think the camera shots, this was the weakest movie in terms of shots and shot composition and stuff like that. This was definitely the weakest of the three. There were only a few shots where I actually pointed them out, while in The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2, I did point a lot more out, because I think there were a lot more well positioned, well placed, well executed shots in those movies. I still think the shots in this movie were fantastic. Some of them, like, I love silhouettes. There were a few silhouette shots in this where I was like, whoa, that is really, really good. And yeah, while some of the camera work in the first and second Godfather did stand out to me, none of the camera work stood out to me in this movie. But again, I don't think the Godfather movies are made for amazing camera work. Like in the first Godfather movie, there's only like one shot that really, really stood out to me where the camera work was really, really good. In the second Godfather movie, there was a few more. There were a bunch of tracking shots. In this movie, I didn't really feel that way when it came to the camera work. I just thought it was like, the camera work was very good, and you could tell that Francis Ford Coppola is a master at directing. You could tell that with the shots, even though the shots weren't very complicated. But I think that in terms of the shots in general, I think that this movie was definitely the weakest, but that still doesn't mean that the shots weren't good. The shots were very good in this movie. This movie also felt very much lighter in tone than the first movie and second movie, which didn't like take me out of the movie, but it was just something that I noticed. It was like, oh, this movie is kind of lighter in tone. It's definitely more lighthearted. It's more about forgiveness than anything else, and I did enjoy it, but I kind of missed the darker side of the first and second movie. I definitely did miss it, to be honest with you. But I think where this movie lost me the most, what my biggest issue of this movie was probably the new characters of this movie, and I'll get into those characters later on, obviously, when I talk about the cast, although I'll probably only talk about the first four that come up on Google, which is Al Pacino, Andy Garcia, Sofia, Coppola, and Diane Keaton. But I think the new characters of this movie did not perform as well as they could have. Maybe not the acting. Some of the acting was really good, but the actual characters themselves, I didn't find it amazingly interesting. I was finding myself always wanting Michael to be back in frame. I was finding myself always wanting Kay Adams to be back in frame. I wanted all like the original characters that I knew to come back, and whenever they weren't in frame, whenever they weren't in a scene or a sequence, I didn't like it as much. And I think that might just be because either I myself couldn't find a connection to these characters, or the characters themselves weren't super interesting, or maybe it's a mixture of both. But yeah, I always wanted Al Pacino. I wanted Michael back in the frame whenever he wasn't in frame, because again, he's Al Pacino, he's the star of the show. I thought Andy Garcia did a good job, but some of the other characters I just did not find that interesting. But again, I will talk about that when I get to the cast right now. Okay, getting to the cast. Al Pacino as Michael, again, star of the show. He is phenomenal in this role. His acting ability is absolutely amazing, and he stole the show whenever he was on frame. I don't think any other actor or actress can come close to him in this movie. Maybe Diane Keaton, Andy Garcia a little bit, but Al Pacino's just screen presence alone in this movie was amazing. His character as Michael was very different from the first movie and the second movie. He was very much about forgiveness. He was soft, he was fragile. He was kind of reflecting on his life in this movie, especially towards the end of the movie. He was really reflecting on his life, and I really like that about his character. It's definitely something that I feel like he would be doing when he's older, but it did come as a shock, because it kind of, there's not really any development in between from when we saw him in the second movie to the third movie. It's very much this big time jump, and he's kind of a different character, or at least he's been through a lot of stuff which has changed him that we just as an audience have not seen. So when we first meet him, it's like we can tell it's still Michael, but we can tell that a lot of things have changed in his life, and he's definitely a different person than when we saw him in part 2. So I kind of wish that they had done some backstory work with him to kind of flesh out what has happened in between part 2 and part 3, although I know that probably would have been hard because Al Pacino was a lot older in this movie. He was like 20 years older in this movie, so I don't know. I just thought that was a little bit of a jump for his character, but overall I thought his character was really good, and I thought Al Pacino did an amazing job. Andy Garcia as Vincent, I did like Vincent most of the time. I thought his personality is not someone I would ever want to be friends with or anything like that, or ever just want to know in general. He was very hot-headed, but I thought Andy Garcia played him very well. I thought out of all the new characters, he was definitely the character that could hold his own the most with Al Pacino, and like Diane Keaton and just every one of the old characters. I thought that Andy Garcia fit in pretty well. He definitely reminded me of, who was that guy who died in the first movie, who was Michael's brother, who got shot like 1,000,000 times, who was also hot-headed? Was he his son? Because they said something about that, but I totally forgot his name from the first movie because it's been like 3 weeks now, so I was like a little confused. But then, I don't know, maybe he is his son, but then that makes sense why he has the hot-headed temper. But I thought Andy Garcia held his own for the most part. Yes, he was very young, and he's going up against this veteran in acting, Al Pacino. But I thought he played Vincent very well, very convincingly at least, very convincingly. This is where my issue hits. Sofia Coppola, Francis Ford Coppola's daughter, as Mary. I'm sorry, Mary. So Sofia Coppola, but your acting was not good in this movie. Like, sometimes she was good, but whenever she was in the room with Al Pacino or Andy Garcia, Diane Keaton, any other actor pretty much, she definitely looked like the weakest link. Especially, there was this one scene where I almost laughed about how bad her acting was. It was just, I think it was just Al Pacino and his son, and they were talking to her about leaving Vincent, and they were just walking down this stone archway, and they were just the three of them, and Al Pacino's like, you have to leave Vincent or something like that, like you can't be with him, and then she just goes, no, and then she just starts running like all wildly away, and it was just like, that was not good acting, Sofia Coppola. I'm so sorry. And you were thrown into this mess, not even a mess of a movie, you were thrown into this movie, the third movie of two movies that are like world-class masterpieces, and you're thrown in with these amazing actors, Al Pacino, Diane Keaton, Andy Garcia, who is now a very famous actor, and she just did not hold her own. She flumbled a lot, not flumbled in terms of like messing up her lines. She didn't fit in with the rest of the movie for me because of her acting ability was very low. And I know that she is a very talented director. I've not seen any of her movies, but I've heard about her directing, and I've heard that she's very talented, just like her father. But her acting is there's something more to be desired for with her acting. So I thought that she played Mary okay. I thought her death at the end was good. It was shocking, but it was like good. But overall, I thought her acting was kind of mediocre, and it definitely looked a lot worse because she was up with these giants, these veterans of acting. The last person I'm going to talk about is Diane Keaton as Kay Adams. I really like her as Kay Adams. I really like Kay Adams in general. I wish she was in the movies a lot more, but then I think that would take a lot of time away from the more important storylines. I thought she was really good in this movie. Whenever she's with Al Pacino and they have these one-on-one conversations, I always look forward to those because I think that these two actors are really, really good, and their chemistry together is also really good. One of my favorite scenes in this movie was in Al Pacino and Diane Keaton, Kay Adams, and Michael were just sitting across from each other at the table just talking, and then she's like, I'll always love you and stuff like that. I really liked that scene. I thought that scene was really powerful, really good, and yeah, I just think Diane Keaton did a really good job. So yeah, that is everything I want to talk about The Godfather 3. I had some issues with it. It was my least favorite of the three, but I still think it was a good movie. Again, I'd probably give it a 3.5. As for the rest of The Godfather, I really did enjoy this trilogy. It was definitely a long trilogy, and sometimes I could feel the length, especially when it's getting closer to lunchtime. Like now it's like 12:30 now, and I'm getting hungry. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I just want this like movie to end so I can eat. But but like I really did enjoy these movies, and I'm very glad that I got to see them, especially if not just for the directing alone, the cinematography, just the lighting, the directing, the music, all of that was beautiful. And now I can say finally as a film student that I have seen the three Godfather movies. I am not a weirdo anymore. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing people right here for supporting me and supporting my channel. It really does mean a lot. And thank you so much if you listen to my review as well. If you made it this far, it means a lot for you just to listen to me talk. And I'll see you next time for my next movie reaction.